Welcome to the Cryptotwits podcast. This is the first one. I am the bald man, and with me is somebody you guys probably hear all the time, but you don't get to see that lovely, luscious head of hair he has. God damn it, you and Kevin both have this, like, Superman-esque... I'm not jealous. Just saying it's rude. But
yeah, I have a little bit more hair than you, but I do a good job at hiding this receding hairline. I have been in crypto for 5 years now, so the receding hairline is it's starting to show. So the comb over is in full effect here, and I'm pumped for our first podcast. Everyone hears us on Spaces. People do get to see your bald head sometimes. No one gets to see my beautiful hair head. So I'm pumped for this, to go over some stuff, and they get to look at us.
Likewise. And we're going to be doing this every week. And this is the first one, which is probably going to totally, I'm going to totally blow this thing. It's going to suck. So the people behind us, Keith, editing, Merry Christmas. All right. So Bitcoin, 90K. Everything is still in fear zone. And I think, like, when you said pump, I was talking about the pump.fun Solana shit. But first off, there's 27 billion in options expiring in 4 days. That is the largest ever. When you look at a chart of historical options expiry amounts and all the notional value, this one is like makes everything else look like nothing. It's a shite ton of. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, and for people that are like me and maybe a little more degen, could you go into a little bit more detail about what that might mean for the price here in the next week or so? Because I just trade meme coins and I don't know what's happening, but this sounds like maybe a not so good thing for the Bitcoin price.
Well, long story short, there are more calls than puts, which means more people, like 2.5 times more people are betting on Bitcoin to close higher than what it is now on the 26th versus those lower. And in a nutshell, when you're on the wrong side of it, you're out of the money and you lose. And yeah. And so there's a lot of like questions how much options like in these like the unregulated options market, like on Deribit, Binance, I can't think of the other ones off the top of my head, but there's a lot of question about like how much influence they have on the actual spot price. But you know, it is a shite ton of money, and who knows if it's actually going to do anything because it is a low liquid time. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that money is a little bit scary, that amount of money. But what do you think about where Bitcoin is right now? The end of the year, we're at like around 90K. I feel like a lot of bears were saying like 75 at the end of the year. A lot of bulls were like 115-ish. We're like kind of in the middle of that, where a lot of people are fearful right now. But we haven't really hit either end of the spectrum. For me, I've DCA'd for a few years now, and I know people love to say, keep on doing it. Well, I have no money left, so I can't DCA, so we're kind of in the middle here. How are you feeling, and how should people feel about
so this is like a little bit of a spoiler, because I think the newsletter that's coming out the 26th or the 24th, I haven't just figured it out yet, but I went through like total nerd mode into looking at I looked at 9 tickers: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Polygon, Stellar, XRP, and a whole bunch of others. I wanted to know, okay, like, because I always do this thing where I go over like, this is what the historical performance of these tickers, this is how they've done in January. But I really wanted to know, okay, since Q4 has always been like a very bullish quarter, except for this year, like how often, like what happens if there's a red Q4, or what happens if November, December both close red? I'll just say, like in a nutshell, if you want Bitcoin and everything else to close in the green for December, historically the statistics are you don't want that to happen right now. There's not a lot of it left. If it closes flat to red, the recovery percentages are huge for January. I mean, but I'm not like saying like it's going to close up 200, 300, 400%. What I'm saying is there's a great for some of those tickers, it's a greater than 70% chance that January closes in the green if November and December both closed in the red. So that is right now. You just want to keep getting beat up, and just close out December with no presents and sad. Because you don't want to have a week of hope. A Christmas rally would be the most yucky thing right now. That'd be bad. That'd be bad for January.
Yeah, I hope it means good things for January because I need some kind of present. I feel like it's been a long year. Nothing has really pumped like when it was crazy back in like 2021, 2022, where we had some crazy memes. We had some altcoins that pumped a bunch. I feel like altcoin holders are really hurting. Pretty far away from all-time highs. A lot of categories that people were high on as well. Like everyone thought blockchain would really pump gaming tokens, which in my mind as a gamer made a ton of sense.
You know what though? Over the last 3 months, the gaming Web3 gaming, that is the best performing major sector. It's down 21% over the last 3 months, and it's the best because if you go from there, DeFi is down -38%. Real world asset tokenization, which is supposed to be like that. That's one of the things. There's a huge divergence of. There's so much money pouring into asset tokenization right now, but the performance of the tokens themselves, and this is true with like crypto, always been true with crypto. The only thing bearish is the price action because the level of money going into it, the level of adoption, the number of people getting into it keeps growing, but it's just the short-term price action is always bearish. So real world asset tokenization down 46%. AI is not the worst, 48%. It's actually meme coin category is the worst, down 56%. That sector classification, whatever you want to call it, meme coins down 56%. And I'm wondering if it's going to get worse because of the lawsuit that has turned. I mean, it's been a RICO lawsuit, so that's like the really bad one from the feds that have like mandatory sentencing, and if the entity is found guilty, like it's triple the damages to the plaintiffs, and that involves not just Pump.Fund, but like the bigwigs at Solana, the Solana Foundation, and but what happens on January 7th? So I think it's not going to get dismissed, but there's a whistleblower that has released to the plaintiffs, and they're going to be presented at court in front of the judge, or I'm not an attorney. Somebody who's watching this is probably saying this guy's an idiot. What I am saying though is that those chats, 5,000 chats between allegedly the people in charge of Pump.Fund and Solana, that there is like some coordinated criminal enterprise to take advantage of people, which totally sucks for two reasons. One, we don't need another goddamn FTX thing. Number two, there's a lot of people who are Cryptotwits, stocktwits fans who have tokens created on Pump.Fund. And I will personally be very fucking pissed off if it turns out that, again, this is all alleged. People are innocent until proven guilty, and people attack crypto all the time. But if this turns out being fun, I don't know what that's going to do to. I really don't know off the top of my head what the market cap of meme coins on Solana represent to the entire rest of the meme coin market space. I don't know if you have any idea.
Yeah, I mean, Solana has definitely become like the most popular for meme coins over the last meme coin run. But I think this is like the least surprising thing that could happen is that there was insiders on Pump Fund. Like every token that's ever been launched, there's at least a small group of people, and they called it the cabal for a while, where there's just a bunch of people getting behind it, pumping it. There's influencers. Like with this amount of money on the line on Pump Fund, I don't think it's any surprise to anyone that there was insider trading and stuff going on in the background. But also, like, a lot of people think Pump Fund was really, really, really bad for, like, the ecosystem and meme coins, like, how it virtually killed every other meme coin. I think there's 11 meme coins on Pump Fund history that are over $1 million market cap today. 11, and at one point there was like 80,000 being launched per day.
Yep.
And there's only 11. 11 are over like a certain market cap, might be 1 or 10 million. So I think it just did a bunch of damage. A bunch of people lost a lot of money, and I think we're seeing it now. Like meme coins are down 56%, which is sad because personally, I dabble in the normie life, and everyone's like, "Is crypto even a thing anymore?" And all they bring up is all the meme coins are dead. So they don't understand like beyond there's technology and tokens beyond these meme coins, which I think it just brings a lot of retail and a lot of tension. These meme coins, so it sucks that something like Pump Fund has this and meme coins are struggling now.
Yeah, I think the low point was when they had when the live stream was first open and people were like putting guns to their kids, pets, goldfish, like million market cap where the goldfish gets it. I mean, that shit was funny. But then the other stuff was like, oh, okay. Like when, what's that Netflix series? Dark Mirror, Black Mirror?
Yeah, Black Mirror, I think.
When the first episode of the new season is basically the real life version of Pump.Fund's streaming, that I think that's the low point. I mean,
yeah.
I've thought there's been a lot of low points in crypto and have proved us wrong. So I'm nervous if that wasn't the low point, what it will be as far as pure degeneracy gone degenerate.
Yeah, the streaming, I think the streaming is actually kind of what put it over the top. There's that like old meme of like the guy who has his grandma in a cage and like you can meme it like I'm not letting her out. Someone literally did that on Pump Fund. So I think that's the low point of Pump Fund when people were doing that stuff. And obviously like the actual dangerous stuff, like the one person accidentally shot themselves, like joking about it. I think at that point then it's like these people will do anything for money.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think streaming it was the greatest idea.
No, but yeah, people are idiots, and I don't know what it is about people being idiots, but give enough people a platform to easily be an idiot, people will just out idiot themselves. It's crazy. All right, capitulation station, Barclay. Looking at stock. I mean, first off, anything not uberly bearish that you've noticed on the platform? Any tickers that are not bleeding? Like the color green does exist in Christmas. It's not fake, but I mean, because this is what, because we did a poll, just looking at it now, that like when the next all-time high is going to happen, 33% say March, 22% say not until 2028. I don't know about that, but Bitcoin is in extremely bearish territory as far as stocktwits users are concerned. I mean, there's some that are not, but I mean, I don't know. Have you anything caught your eye?
Not really. I think like there's some random memes like for me that have kind of stuck out. That have like good, stories behind them. Like one that you kind of like as well was the 401JK, which is kind of a funny time to like be making jokes about retirement.
Yes.
So I think that is why that one's been doing so well. The story is just kind of funny and well timed. I mean, I think it's still up, 500-600% this last like 3 months. So I think that's a random good one. And it felt like, I think midnight dropped again on Cardano, but it had its day, and I think there's still a lot of good to come.
It's up 61% last week.
Yeah. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, like midnight, it's like most airdrops, for those who don't know, most airdrops, like, and I think I said like in a short video today, they start off at like $1, and then in a few hours, they're like 1,000th of a penny. Midnight is totally different. Like midnight has... I mean, it dropped a little, but now it went past its opening price, closed above its opening price. It's down like 10% today, but overall it was like up 60+% last week. So that's And I think the volume on midnight today is like the 5th highest across the board for cryptos right now, which is crazy. And like the only other green one that I really saw on the platform that people were bullish about was Uniswap because they did a vote on the fee swap. So other than that, everything else looks dead and red. If it's red, it's dead. There's your clip.
Yeah, and people are very fearful right now, especially on stocktwits. BTC, I feel like, has been bearish for as long as I can remember this year on there. But also I saw Charles today really talking about Midnight and Cardano native assets. So I think some of the DEXs are doing all right. They're kind of pumping because Charles said something that they're going to start getting stable coins. They're going to start partnerships.
Okay.
They're going to put stuff on Solana and
who is that? Because I remember even before the drop, like Charles kept saying that there's some very large entity involved with Midnight that is not disclosed, and also that they're stable coins. They're two different things. Which stable coin is interested, and then who is the large entity that's involved?
It has to be. I think it has to be the Ripple, what is it, RLUSD?
RLUSD, which just moved into the top 5 stable coins by market cap.
Yeah, I see a lot of chatter on X about that and Charles and Ripple. So you got to think that is up there with maybe what it is. But yeah, I think Charles is kind of going crazy right now with all this stuff, in a good way. He's really getting in the weeds again. It feels like it's kind of reignited his passion for crypto, because honestly he was on a little side quest, I think, there for a while with some other things.
Life.
Yeah, health and politics and some other things.
What was that fucking thing he was doing where he was in the hut, wearing a grass skirt and doing dancing? Where was that at? Do you remember that? Was that this summer?
I'm not sure, but it was a dark retreat. I know that he passed out and had to end it early, so not really sure how good that was for anyone involved in that, including the Cardano tokens. But yeah, I'm hoping for Midnight. I think everyone's high on privacy, and it's awesome that Charles is getting more involved in it.
Okay, here's our quick hits. Last week, Carolyn Ellison was released early. She's not, prison time is over, but she's in a halfway house or it's weird that she's out. Ryan Salami's still in. That dude, from everything I remember, was not that bad of a dude. I don't know how he got dicked over so bad. And then the feds went after his wife or fiance, while she's pregnant to try and get them. It was fucked up.
Why did Caroline get out early? What did she give information? Was it just good behavior? What was ended up being?
So, her whole sentence, I don't think had to be served in prison. There's you'll get out and then you have to do a halfway house or community confinement of some sort. If you're not a risk or a first time offender, maybe get to do that. But I don't think she's out she's free. Also, her and everybody else, I think they had to part of the plea was they can no longer be, they can't be in charge of any kind of firm, in that capacity, officer anymore. Let's see what else. Coinbase, last week they launched their pretty much everything, which was a huge deal. You knew more about that than I did. I just heard the news, but that was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and they are genuinely trying to do everything. It's kind of like when Elon said the X was going to be doing everything, but really they've done nothing. I feel like Coinbase is actually trying to do everything. They got the SocialFi. You can tokenize on their platform. If you're a company that wants to tokenize all your rentals, you can go to Coinbase. They'll do all the legal for you. They'll do all the tokenization for you. They'll do all that. Obviously, doing prediction markets. They're kind of doing everything just on Coinbase, which I think is great for normies, right? I even keep stuff as a hardcore crypto person. I keep stuff on Coinbase that's a little more annoying to keep in certain wallets and move around. So I think having all this stuff in one place just makes crypto so much more accessible to all the normie people.
Yeah. And people who are trading a lot aren't using Coinbase anyways. or you're paying like there's the subscription. But yeah, that's Coinbase. Let's see what else. We talked about a little bit Uniswap's fee switch. People voted on it, 99% approval. So that's good for Uniswap, which is the largest decentralized exchange. You know, it's crazy. Uniswap got targeted by the SEC during all the Gensler's reign, but really not as. I would have thought that in hindsight, Uniswap would have been like target number one, but they weren't, which is good for them, bad for everybody else. And let's see, like we had this thing last week about North Korea. Big banks forming anti-crypto lobby. Not a huge surprise. Earlier this year, I guest wrote an article for Be Crypto because they wanted someone from America to write a thing about like, what is Trump going to do with crypto? And what I wrote, I think it's one of like their best performing articles this year. Pat myself on the back there, guys. But what I wrote is that like Trump's thing has nothing, like everything with Epstein, all the tariff and shit. I think it's a goddamn smokescreen. Like the dude wants to kill big banks. And if you like, I read his son's Eric Trump's book. If you read it, it's scary as hell. Like how quickly they were debanked by large banks, like with no reason, just like boom, politically, boom, get rid of them. So yeah, big banks. I mean, I would be scared if I was a big bank because you've got somebody in office he's in there for like another 3+ more years. I mean, we're not even, he hasn't been in there for 12 months yet. Look at how crazy the stuff's been going on. So yeah, Trump's going to rescue crypto in 2026. That was a Reuters headline, by the way. I totally stole it from him just now. But
I think it's crazy that these banks, if you take crypto and put it in your bank, that some banks can freeze that money, and that's just crazy overall for just how banking in general works. Obviously, they're just doing it to crypto, but the fact that they can pick and choose any type of money that comes into your account, if they're not pro whatever that is, that they can do that. So I think that's huge that we're kind of tackling that issue anyways.
Yeah, and I love and when you look at like all the appointments that Trump has done, like at the federal level that he's been able to do very quickly, so much of that financial sector regulation has been turned over. And yeah, big banks this is probably the most weaponless and weakest they've been in Senate. Their lobbyists are probably just like smoking pot and playing Battlefield 6 all day because they don't have it. Nobody wants to talk to them. So yeah, and what's going to be really funny is if Trump's political opponents start to curry favor with the big banks who they hated before, it's going to be very interesting. But yeah, DeFi and crypto, like I said, the only thing bearish about it is the price action because that was something that came out today. CoinShares, they released a little report saying that a lot of the downturn last weekend over the last few months is just the Clarity Act not getting through this year's bit of a drag, but I don't know about that. Listen, people need money to buy presents, pay their bills, travel, do stuff. And let's face it, crypto's probably the thing that if people have money tied up somewhere that they're like, I want to get rid of it now and sell it now while it's down and not have to wait around. Sure.
Absolutely agree.
If I could show a chart of Bitcoin, it would show you like this 30% down is like actually it could go lower, but this is normal. Like this entire drop for Bitcoin and the entire crypto market in an expansion phase, totally normal. So key levels to watch definitely over Christmas, 85K, big old dump towards 74 if that doesn't hold. Where it's parked right now below 90K, 90 to 95K, that's that. But when we were talking about that options expiring on the 27th. Anyways, 96K to 100K, that's where max pain exists. So yeah, definitely it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with crypto prices over the holidays here because liquidity dries up and anybody watching, what that means is it's very easy to push the market around one way or the other because a lot of people aren't participating. A lot of the professional trade firms, trade houses, prop shops, they're done. Their positions are just parked there, or they're not taking any more active ones. They take everything off. So it's going to be very easy to push around the market. And I'm going to repeat this. I talk about this in the Bald Man, in the Bald Man live stream and during our community, that in any given year, it's between 10 to 13 days, crypto makes most of its gains. And 233 times in Bitcoin's history, just Bitcoin's, a 7-day period has wiped out an entire quarter's worth of losses. So there's roughly a week left of the month, and this is like one of the lowest liquidity times that you can have. If the bulls were going to do something to punch the bears in the face and end 2025 on a green note, this is the time they're going to do it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind that. And I think we've seen like the crazy volatility where just last week, I think Bitcoin pumped $4,000, and then 30 minutes later dropped $4,000. There was a ton of liquidations both ways, so we're already kind of seeing the volatility in December for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to our first one. It totally sucked. I mean, I didn't think it went very well. I was just rambling, and poor editors are having to splice together this thing that we didn't. Poor guys. But anyways, we'll leave it there. We're going to see you all next year, which is dumb to say. It's a stupid joke, but that is true. We're going to see you next year. We're going to do this every week. Would encourage you all to, I'm going to point to somewhere in the screen where they're going to put like a link somewhere, maybe, that says subscribe to the Cryptotwits newsletter. Follow us on X. Go to stocktwits.com, download the app, and I look forward to speaking with you all next year.